Hardship is difficulty. It is suffering. Again, most people in the past and even today, to some degree, the hardship that they endure is imposed from the outside. Somebody who's got chronic illnesses, the hardship is imposed from the outside. Somebody who lives in suffering countries in the third world, the hardship is imposed from the outside. Someone who lives in like a North Korea, the hardship is imposed from the outside. So for those of us who don't suffer from those things, we have the tendency to become weak, fussy, self-centered, entitled, unless we learn to then impose hardship upon ourselves, to actually deal with our own situation. You know, there's a verse that I love by St. Paul where he says, I buffet my body to make it my slave. Okay, I buffet my body to make it my slave. And he said that because he wanted to avoid shame. He said, I don't want, because he knew he was being held out as an example. He did not want to, endure the shame of giving into things and showing himself not to be an example, because he wasn't able to endure the hardship. So he said, I buffet my body like a boxer and make it my slave. So ancient boxing, not all that dissimilar from contemporary sports, right? You are physically training. You are toughening yourself up. So the physical boxer has to get out there. He can't just train, or she can't just train to throw punches, right? What's the other half of that training, right? One side of it is throwing punches, how to throw punches. What's the other side? Taking a punch, right? The other side of that training is learning how to endure the hardship of being beaten on for 15 rounds. If all you do is train yourself on how to strike somebody, then you're in for a rude awakening once you go in that ring and realize that other person is going to hit you back and hit you pretty hard. You can't win if all you're doing is focusing on that offense and not simply focusing on defense either. You have to be able to endure the hardship of being beaten on. You have to take the punches to the head. You have to take the punches to the body, right? So you have to toughen these areas up. So you've seen it, right? In the Rocky movies or whatever, where you're hitting him in the gut, right? Throwing the medicine ball in the gut, slapping him in the gut, punching him in the gut. And they put on the helmets and the pads and everything, and they go in the sparring ring and they beat the hell out of each other. Why? You have to buffet that body, make it your slave. You can't become a slave to your environment. You can't become a slave to your temptation. You can't become a slave to your appetites, your lusts, your emotions. These all have to be buffeted. Like a boxer will buffet his or her body in order to endure the suffering that's going to come from being hit. So if you're not strong, right? When people talk about, for example, a diet and they say, I don't have willpower. They don't have the willpower to resist that chocolate cake or something like that. Well, you got to toughen yourself up. And you think about what you just said, man. I don't have the willpower. I can't resist the cookie. You can't? Really? You can't. Okay. If I hold a gun to your head, can you resist the cookie? Yes. Yes, you can. You can do it. You can talk like this all you want, and probably that's part of your problem. Is that what you keep telling yourself? You keep telling yourself you can't. You keep telling yourself, I have a sweet tooth. I can't stop getting mad all the time because I'm Irish, or, I'm Italian, or whatever. You can't stop using, you can't keep using, all of these excuses, because you're continually programming yourself. You're reinforcing a belief that needs to change. You can change. You can resist that cookie and that cake. You can resist the temptations. You cannot fall prey to what everybody else has fallen prey to. You don't have to act all erratic and emotional on Facebook because that's what everybody else is doing. You don't have to act all crazy just because everybody else is. You can be different if you're strong. If you're a strong person, you can be different. And becoming a strong person is going to mean you got to be able to take the blows. And that means hardship. Don't wait until you get out in life and then get hit. It's going to knock the wind out of you. You have to train yourself, again, like a boxer. A boxer has to train themselves. So intentionally be beat upon. Intentionally be beat upon. Self-imposed hardship. Same thing with you, man. Self-imposed hardship. You might struggle to get out of bed in the morning. All right, well, toughen up, Buttercup. Set the alarm. Move your phone or clock or whatever you use to the other side of the room so that in order to turn it off, you got to get your ass out of bed. And then you stay up. And then you do what you got to do. Now, you can ease into it, right? You don't have to just go crazy. You can ease into it, start getting up 15 minutes earlier, whatever you got to do. But stop being so friendly to your emotions, feelings, your body. Stop with all the, I'm just tired and, oh, woe is me this and woe is me that. Toughen it up. Speak that way to yourself, not to condemn yourself, but to discipline yourself. Not all that dissimilar than that boxing coach is going to talk to that athlete, that boxer. Remember how Mickey and Rocky used to talk to Rocky? Well, you're going to have to talk like that, like a drill sergeant at times. Don't give yourself excuses. Don't give yourself this latitude. Don't treat yourself. Oh, I had a great day today. I got up early and I did my discipline. I think I'll treat myself to some cookies. No, don't treat yourself. Deprive it. Deprivation is better for you. Then your body says, wait a minute, man. I want to be celebrated. We know you want to be celebrated. I'm trying to kill that in you. I'm trying to starve out of myself this desire for things. Not so that there's absence of desire, but so that there's self-control, so that there's personal strength, to where I am the governor and the determiner and the dominion agent with my life. Can you dig it? Hope you can.